Test, test. Test, test. Test, test. Test, 1, 2. Test, 1, 2.
wait a second. Oh, he's not here. Okay.
On the one about the Enneagram, that
It's booked up, yes.
this says registration closed, but it isn't.
Oh, okay.
It's been extended through today.
Okay, thank you
So
so
I
much.
put that in there,
Oh,
kind of, but
okay.
you might say, hey, this says that, but don't believe it.
Understood.
Play with
Okay,
it.
perfect. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see everyone's beautiful faces. My name is Carl Sonnen, and I'm on the board of directors as secretary. Oh. Again, my name is Carl Sonnen. I'm the secretary on the board of directors, and here are this morning's announcements. It's about 3 events coming up that are sponsored by Adult Learning and Growth. This Wednesday, February 21st, from 7 to 9 p.m. here in Worship Hall, there'll be the launch of a book called Reasonable Cause to Suspect, A Mother's Ordeal to Save Her Son from a Kurdish Prison by Sally Lane. The launch will be focused by a panel discussion which will focus on why our government does not act, even though the primacy of the right to return to Canada is reinforced in Canadian law. Registration for the Saturday, March 2nd in-person workshop Introduction to the Enneagram has been extended through this weekend. So on the order of service, it says registration is closed. That's not true. It's still ongoing and it's open for a few more signups. The Enneagram framework combines wisdom, mystical, and psychological teachings to help us both grow as individuals and in our relationships with others and the spirit of life. To register, you can talk to Jane today, Jane Lindsay at the welcome table, or send an email to adultlearning@firstunitarianottawa.ca. Also, if you're new to FirstU, join us on March 3rd after the Sunday service for a luncheon session called Introducing Ourselves, where we can get to know you better and you can learn more about FirstU and Unitarian Universalism. To register, contact welcome@firstunitarianottawa.ca, or again, see Jane at the welcome table. And finally, consider joining the renewed Adult Learning and Growth team and help us put together a variety of interesting activities for the congregation. So your interests in regards to what you'd like to see here at FirstU are a concern of ours. To learn more about any of these activities or about the team, see Jane or email adult@firstunitarianottawa.ca. And now, Jodi.
Welcome, everyone, to the First Unitarian Congregation of Ottawa. Whether you are here in Worship Hall or watching from wherever you may be, you are welcome. I'm Jodi McIntosh, the Director of Religious Exploration here at FirstU, and we have a special intergenerational service for you today. This morning, we have some soul work at the back. You will find little lacing cards, little finger labyrinths, and a few coloring pages. And this is for anyone who may need a little help to listen with your whole body and soul. Sometimes if we have busy hands, our ears listen a little better. And here's Lisa.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Lisa, and I'm your worship associate this morning. Let us begin with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that our FirstU campus is located on traditional Anishinaabe territory, and that the work of reconciliation is a responsibility of our congregation and of all Canadians. Our goal is to educate ourselves and all those who have the willingness to understand, to be of service to those who are at risk, and to advocate for justice.
Let us sing together, Lead with Love, and you'll find the words up on the screen.
Yeah, I'm going to welcome everybody, anyone who would like to join me up here, and everybody to sing along. This is getting to be a well-known song for our congregation. So, all right. Here. Oh, 1, 2, 3. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared, and I'm scared too, but here I am, right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Yeah.
That was rousing. So, the words for lighting our chalice this morning come from Lee Kinvey, from their poem, A True Story. This chalice is for the living, the changing, the becoming. This chalice is for losing the script of your life, the chapters about who you are in other people's stories. This chalice is for the lost GPS that was supposed to show you how to get where they expected you to go. This chalice is for skipping the directions, coloring outside the lines, painting not by number, but by silence, with wild abandon, with a brush you made yourself from deep inside, startling, vivid, a new voice that already knows you, finally, a true story.
I'd like to welcome Three Rivers today to sing for us. This piece they will be singing is When I Rise Up by J. David Moore. This composer, it's a round, so you'll hear people entering and singing the same melody at different times. And the composer has an annual tradition of writing a round at the beginning of each year for New Year's. Because the idea of the cyclical nature of it, of the cycling, kind of is about celebrating the new year and new things and new beginnings. So it's a very joyful and lovely little piece.
Today's service grows out of our explorations with the children this new year. We explored the interconnected web of life through stories, art, and play. This morning, we joyfully share elements of our creative adventures We share the story of the baby hippo and the tortoise with our children in the cellist room, and they were touched thinking about a creature on its own finding friendship in a surprising place. Then these children helped us share the story with the younger children in our rainbow room, and we were touched by the enthusiasm they showed in helping us share it. And we are excited about sharing it with you this morning. Next, in our response to the story, I Love You Sun, I Love You Moon, the children reflected on what they love in the natural world and their lives. From their artwork, we created our own poem to express a little part of what we love and value. And finally, as a part of our explorations of interconnectedness, we talked about our families and how families come in many different shapes and forms. We invited the children to make family portraits with the idea that families aren't always just the people we live with. We've tied these elements together within the story, within the telling of the story, The Invisible Web, to remind us of our connections to one another and all of creation. This morning,
This morning, each of us is welcome. We of any heritage or faith, whatever our burdens, any culture or race, of any gender or orientation, in any body, all that we are, today we are a part of this spiritual community.
In keeping with the theme of us being connected, we are going to share our joys and sorrows a little bit differently this morning. In a moment, we will be passing around a ball of yarn that will help us as a community experience how we are connected to each other. As the yarn comes to you, we ask you that you wrap it twice around your wrist before it is passed to the next person. Once we're all connected through our not-so-invisible web, we will rest in silence as we reflect on the joys and sorrows in our hearts. So we'll now pass around the not-so-invisible thread.
Now that we are all connected as a community, gently move your wrapped wrist and notice how we feel not only our own movements, but the reverberation of the movements of others. And now, place your free hand on your wrapped wrist and begin to become still. Feel the warmth of your own touch. If it feels good to you, you might close your eyes. Feel your body resting on your seat. Feel your breath flowing in and out of your nose. What is on your heart this morning? A joy, a sorrow, a gratitude, a remembrance? Let's hold all these in our hearts as we rest together in silence for a moment.
We share as a community these joys and sorrows from our congregation. So keeping with this, for Ron and Wendy, we're sending you best wishes as you settle into your new home. Know that you are missed here at FirstU. For Margaret, we send you best wishes as you recover from your recent surgery. And lastly, for the family of Carol Yeaman, please accept our condolences at the passing of your beloved Carol. There are caring cards for each of these individuals at the back of the pews. And we invite you to sign the cards, whether you know that individual or not. It fills the heart and the soul to know with warmth when somebody receives a card and sees all of the names written in the card. And so now we invite you to feel yourself as part of the web of humanity, simply being together. May we hold all the beauty and the pain of life in our hearts and breathe together with encouragement, courage, and compassion.
Now, with presence and care, we're going to cut our strings apart. And if you like, you can tie the string around your wrist or ask a neighbor for help. Let's keep the feeling of connected community in our hearts. Even when we leave this space, may our strings remind us that while the web may be invisible, we are always part of it.
The Invisible Web by Patrice Karst, illustrated by Joanne Lou Vitroff. The very best news ever has begun to spread all over the world, one heart at a time. Shout it from the mountaintops. Every single one of us is connected to those we love by invisible strings. That means Giovanna and her daddy are always together, even though he moved to a new house. Omar can feel the tugs of love from his parents, even though he is living far away at school. Mr. Chang still feels Mrs. Chang close by, even though she died such a very long time ago. And you, at this very moment, may feel the string of someone close to you, even though they aren't there. You can't see it, but it's real. Our strings reach to everyone we know. They travel far and wide to families and friends, classmates and coaches, to bus drivers and babysitters, neighbors and pets, to aunts and uncles and grandparents and children and grandchildren and countless other people. And all of those people have hundreds of strings. Soaring high over rocky peaks and across the 7 seas, deep into jungles and valleys and winding through the busiest of cities, all these strings crisscross one another and create a nest that covers the whole planet, interlacing us together, cradling us forever. The invisible web. The web has no borders and wraps every continent. Within it lives butterflies and flowers, starfish and seahorses, lions and ants, rivers and snowstorms, and all of human beings. Giovanna, Omar, Mr. Chang, and of course you and me too. It also includes a baby hippo named Owen and a tortoise named Mazay.
This true story is about friendship, family, and connections in our interdependent web of life. Our story begins in Malindi, Kenya. Thank you, Roman. On the east coast of Africa in 2004, after a terrible storm called a tsunami.
When the powerful waves of the storm had settled, villagers spayed the baby hippo standard on the ridge of the sand and stone in the sea. The baby hippo, less than a year old, had been swept away from his family, the storm.
Hundreds of people worked for hours to rescue the 600-pound baby hippo, and they nicknamed him Owen. The people called the manager of the nearest animal sanctuary for help. She told them that Owen was not yet old enough to take care of himself and that he would not be able to join another pod of hippos.
The good news, Owen was welcome at the animal sanctuary where there was a pond, a mud wallow, brush, tall trees, and other animals, including a 130-year-old tortoise named Mazay. Owen traveled by truck to his new home. When he arrived, he was very scared.
By nature, hippos are social animals. Young hippos like to stay with their families for their first 4 years. To everyone's surprise, Owen scrambled from the truck directly to Mazay. Now, even though Mazay liked to keep to himself, he quickly accepted his new companion.
Owen and Maze became very close. They swam, ate, and slept together. The baby hippo followed the tortoise, and the tortoise stayed close to the baby hippo, leading the way and giving him comfort.
Wildlife experts were puzzled about this unlikely friendship. Most had never heard of a mammal like Owen and a reptile like Mazay forming such a strong bond. Maybe science can't fully explain what the heart already knows. Our most important friends are sometimes the least expected.
We'll never know for sure whether Owen saw Mazay as a mother or father, a parent, or a very good friend, but it really doesn't matter. What matters is their care for one another. Here is a picture of the real Owen and Mazay. This story is also a book.
The web has no borders. Some say it even reaches to our ancestors and those we cherish in the beyond. One tug on a string sends love to every one of us, woven together in this divine tapestry. And that means just one good deed travels across the entire web. Everything is linked. But sometimes folks forget. When they can't feel their strings, they forget about our invisible web, and that's when strings get tangled up. Like when lonely Louisa isn't invited to sit with anyone at her school at lunchtime, or when sad Stefano wishes his friend Marcos wasn't so bossy when they played. Or when Mrs. Patel struggles at work without help and she just wants to quit. Even violence and war can erupt when too many of us forget about the web. When strings are ignored, they can become weak and begin to unravel. But the more people who care for the web, the stronger it remains. The web feels like every parent since the beginning of time, holding and protecting each one of us in millions of gentle arms. What could be stronger than all those hands holding us close? So many supportive fingers can always find a way to untangle strings so that love can flow again. But it's up to every one of us to spread the word. Our time is right now.
Around and around we go, learning and playing and loving. Ta-dam! We love the earth. We love the moon. We love the sunset. We love Brownie and Hazel. We love Lego. We love Canada. We love rainbows. We love flowers. We love family. We love the earth. Around and around we go, loving and playing and learning. Ta-dam!
As we tell our families and friends, sisters will remind brothers, who will write to cousins, who will call their great-grandparents, who will just nod and smile as if they have always known. If we remember the web and tug at it often, nobody will ever be left out. We will see others more clearly. The people of the world will look into each other's eyes. They will smile at one another, and when one of them cries, they will all want to help. And they do. Marcus apologizes to Stefano, who forgives his friend, and they have even more fun playing. Someone helps Mrs. Patel at work and tells her what a great job she's doing. She remembers that she's important and feels happy. And Louisa feels warm and bubbly inside when a few of the kids in class ask her to join them under the banyan tree for lunch. She knows right then that the invisible web is real. After school, Louisa cries with joy as she strokes her cat, who purrs the news to the stars, and the stars whisper the secret to the clouds, who share it with the songbirds, who serenade the world with the exquisite melody of love at the start of each morning and all during the day, until, as the invisible web glitters in the magic of twilight, the owls take over and hoot the news throughout the night. The invisible web is alive. Its time is right now. It breathes as we breathe, pulsating all over our earth, the single heartbeat of life and love. And do you know what that makes us all? One very big family. Now let's take that big family energy and enjoy this video of our family portraits creative adventure. Please feel free to dance and clap along.
Can we have some adult art projects too? That looked like a lot of fun. So I invite the ushers to start passing the baskets at this time. This congregation has a long history of care, vitality, and bringing people together to move the arc of justice forward. We have been able to live into our hopes and dreams because of the generosity of those within and beyond this community. Whether you are here in Worship Hall or anywhere else, you are part of this community. To make a gift in support of the work of this congregation, you don't need to use the baskets that are now beginning to move amongst you. Wherever you are invited to go to our website or contact our finance manager to find out how you can make a donation or to keep up with your pledge. Our gifts are given freely and gratefully received. We dedicate these gifts to the work of this community of faith, serving human wholeness, caring for the planet, upholding religious freedom, welcoming the stranger, loving one another. And now, please rise as you are willing and able to join us together in our closing hymn, Blue Boat Home, number 1064 in our teal hymnal, or you can follow along with the words on the screen.
Standing on
As we prepare to extinguish our chalice this morning, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Jodi, Susan, and their friends for creating such a lovely service this morning. There's a lot of things here. Our closing words this morning come from Kate Landis. I want you to know that you are a strand in the web of all existence, one dewdrop spangled thread reflecting the early morning sun, connected to every other living creature, frogs, mushrooms, great blue whales, and you. You are never alone. You were born into a huge family of life. Sit in the grass and know that it is your sibling. Watch the crows circle and think of them as gossiping cousins. This is your world, and you are worthy. And let's stand to sing our closing song, Spirit of Life.
I invite you to raise your hands outward if you feel comfortable. We are people of both reason and heart, of both memory and hope. May we also always remain people of love, providing a place in this world for our spirit, a place called home. As now we return to the challenge of helping the world come alive in love, let us go forward in peace, my friends. Go in peace. Blessed be.